time to talk about the babies and the kids. Nanny Robina is here with us in studio. Because you got this question from a viewer, and I think there are so many viewers that can actually relate to this. So we won't throw out any names, but she said, I find it difficult talking to either grandmother. My mother is eternally right, and I'm wrong. If I say she's spoiling, she says she's nurturing. As for mother-in-law, love her to death, but if I ask hubby to talk to his mom, although when either one of us talk to our mothers, we are always wrong and they are always right. Does that sound familiar to anyone out there? It's an interesting thing because, you know, you have your children and your parents should have a role in their lives if possible, but then it becomes all of these rules that you've created with your partner sometimes go out the window as soon as they get with grandma and grandpa. So do you do anything about that, number one? If you do anything about that, what do you do? How do you handle it?
You know what, I got to tell you, first off, I come across this a lot when I'm out and about, that we'll be talking and grandma will be hovering in the background. Oh, she's listening in to see if what I'm saying is okay with her also, with what I'm saying about the baby. But the truth of the matter is that grandparents play a very strong role in looking after the grandchildren today. A lot of them take over the caregiving role. And, you know, they have to sort of loosen up a little bit. I know it's tough for them, but at the end of the day, they should not be calling all the shots.
I'd say they're too loose. I don't think they need to loosen up anymore.
No, I mean...
They don't have any rules at all.
Wait, let me reframe that. They need to loosen up in terms of listening to their daughter. Like, it's not all going to be my way. The thing is, it's not your baby. There are guidelines, and you really should be sort of taking some of that away from your daughter, you know? In order to, it's also a mark of respect. To try and meet each other at a happy medium, you know? So
And it's not just the daughters, right? It's the son-in-laws, or it's the sons as well. Although I find that a lot of the friction often happens between the mom and the daughter, or the mom-in-law and the daughter. You know, depending on who's doing more of the caregiving role.
Although this is a good guideline, have your husband speak to his mother. I also think if you're lady of the house, it is your house, it is your child, you have to have an active role in that too. And it also, you know, moving forward, it makes for a great relationship between you and your mother-in-law. You've got to be able to have that say. I know it's awkward. You don't want to have that confrontation. Start it off how you mean to go on. So, you know what? Set down the ground rules at the beginning.
Establish those boundaries, right?
Establish those boundaries. So, you know, sort of make a little list. You know what? This is how I want things done. This is how much sleep my child has and when she has a nap. I have a client right now, and we go through things, and, you know, the little one sleeps, and twice a week she goes to grandma, doesn't have a nap. So she's like the holy horror when she gets home. And I'm like, well, you know, you may have to speak to Yaya and tell her that she's got to get a little firmer there. That she's too old. She's too young to go all day without a nap. So, you know, maybe grandma's really enjoying her time, so she's not napping her. Well, it makes it very difficult when she comes home, because now mom's got a new baby and a cranky child on her hands. You know?
Absolutely.
So I think
how do you say that, though? What do you, like, how do you say to Yaya?
Yaya, no nap.
You actually have to listen to my child yell and scream because I know that they don't want to take a nap, but that you're going to have to do that.
You know what? I think you have to choose your time very, very carefully. Okay, maybe not in that moment because, you know, you've got a child that all hell's breaking out and all the rest of it. So pick a happy moment and then just have, you know, a nice conversation. Listen, this is not working when you know, when Natalie doesn't actually go to sleep, she comes home and this is what's taking place. Now, I know you love her. I know she can wangle her way into sitting on the couch and not having a nap, but the truth of the matter is you've got to nap her. You've got to take her to bed and get a little firmer. And that goes for all of the things that are very, very important to you, be it discipline, be it food. You know, you've got to make it understood by them what it is you want. You know?
You know, what I find helpful, because I actually don't follow any of those rules. I tried in the beginning when they were babies, and I was like, I think I'm just going to give up now, and you guys do whatever you want. I find it, the one thing that is helpful is to say that the child might be suffering as a result.
Yes, absolutely.
So if they actually get to see a good old-fashioned crazy tantrum caused by sleep deprivation and 24 hours of sugar, and you know, the horror of that, you see a child in pain, and so that might be some of the, that might be convincing for the grandparents
to say,
as a tool. Let me take a step back here and maybe, you know, throw in some broccoli and a nap every once in a while so that you're not suffering, the child. Because that's who they care about. They love the child.
And I think what you have to do is try and find 10 minutes in the day to just sit down and talk about what's important.
Yes.
What is, if grandma can't go with it, find a happy medium.
Right. Like maybe those two things that just please do this and everything else is negotiable. Very nice.